Hello and welcome to Friday's Masterclass edition of Cracking the Cryptic. This is the episode each week when we go back to our roots and we try and solve the Times Cryptic crossword for the day, which is here. Let's just have a quick look at the stats. Oh, interesting. Okay, so this one is by a friend of mine, Jason Crampton, who is the current editor of the Times crossword. And you can see here, Mystigris is real, I think. That's a 6-minute time. That's the first name I'm confident is real. Magoo is the reigning Times Crossword champion and better known probably to viewers of the channel as Mark Goodliffe. So that is a very long time for Mark. Mark must average 5.5 minutes, I would think. So for Mark to be taking nearly 8 tells us this is difficult. And Lily is Liam Hughes, who was the finalist in last year's Times Crossword Championship. So this is definitely difficult. Andrew Fisher there with a nearly 10-minute time. Let's have look a bit further down. Let's see if... Now, I was going to say, you can get into the top 100 with an error. And Southern Cross there, 2 minutes 02. That's a typing error. Southern Cross is not solving live to finish the puzzle in 2 minutes 2 seconds. Gosh, you can actually get in the top 100 with 2 errors. So Jason's clearly come up with something stretching today, and I'm looking forward to having a go at it, and we'll do that together in a moment or two's time. And the idea is that I'll try and talk you through my thought processes such as they are, and hopefully help you with your own cryptic crossword solving. A couple of things I'll mention first. Thanks so much. We went to Stratford and we did a live event as part of the Stratford Literary Festival last Sunday, and some of the people who came to that seemed to love the crossword content. So if you were one of those who came up to me afterwards and said, please keep doing these videos, we hear you, and thank you for the support, and thank you for the kind words, and there were a lot of them last Sunday, and we were bowled over, to be honest. Much appreciated. And what else can I tell you about? Let me look. Over on Patreon, Mark has solved another listener crossword. I think it was a listener by Harry Bobs. In fact, we could check, because let's just have a quick look in the specialist section. Let's go to listener. Oh no, Harry Bobs. It must be this one. I thought he told me Harry Bobs, but I couldn't quite remember. So if you want to see Mark solve Knockout by Harry Bobs, that is going to be there over on Patreon right now, as well, of course, as all the other cryptic crossword stuff that we put over on our Patreon site. And some of you have asked for me to have a go at a recent Kia listener as well, which I'm very tempted to do. Kia is a genius setter. Another friend of mine, Roger Phillips. So if I do get time, and time is at a premium, I might have a go at that in the coming days. And I've got a couple of birthdays to do today as well. Frida, which must be a Norwegian name, I think. Your big sister Jenny wrote in and asked if we could say happy birthday in today's video. And I think Jenny owes you a lot of thanks, because Frida has got Jenny not only into the channel and into Sudokus, but also now into cryptic crosswords. I think Jenny's got addicted. So in terms of things that you can have a vice for, I think puzzles is about the best one. And Frida, I hope you have a great birthday today, with of course a large slice of heavily iced chocolate cake. And also Dimitri. Now, Dimitri, it was your birthday earlier in the week, on Tuesday, if I'm not mistaken. But your partner, Joanna, asked for the shout-out to be in this video. Dimitri turned 70. And I gather that chocolate cakes with real chocolate icing were on the menu, so I hope you enjoyed those. And I was amused to hear that apparently these videos have helped your solving, to the point where where you both solved 3 clues in that brutal crossword with a snitch rating of sort of over 200 a few weeks ago. You solved 3 clues before I did, so I am teaching myself out of a role here. But anyway, let's Dimitri, happy birthday. I hope your birthday was good. And with that said and done, let's have a go. Oh, have I got a dictionary? Yes. Oh, goodness, and it's in the right place. Let's make sure. Yeah, it's perfect. So let's get cracking. Let's have a look at Jason's puzzle. It's this one. And here we go. One across. We'll start with one across. 11 letters. Disaster area engulfed by threat. Cops dealt with. Now, quick reminder. If you are completely new to cryptic crosswords, you might not know that every single one of these clues contains a straight definition of the answer to be entered. And that's almost always at the start or the end of the clue. So for example, in this clue, it might be a word that this clue, this 11-letter word, might be a word that means disaster or disaster area, or it might be the other side of the clue. It might mean dealt with. It's unlikely to mean with, but it could do. And then the rest of the clue is a recipe that tells you how to construct the answer out of bits and pieces. Or it might tell you how you need to anagram something, but it's a recipe that gives you the wordplay to construct the answer. I'm wondering if I can cut this clue. Has catastrophe got 11 letters? Area. I feel like this might be catastrophe. I don't know why. Is it some sort of anagram? It is an anagram, isn't it? Yeah, okay. So my subconscious has solved this one for me, which is fortunate. So the way this works, we cut the clue after the word disaster. So we're trying to think of an 11-letter word for a disaster. I'm going to put in catastrophe. I think it's right. Why is it catastrophe? Area engulfed by. Now, this is such an important principle. So that we're in the recipe part of the clue now. Some words can be abbreviated to their initial. Which ones, I hear you chorus? Only ones that the dictionary supports the abbreviation. So you can't look at this clue and look at the word cops and say, that could be C. It can't, because if we go to the dictionary and type in the letter C, we will not find the word cops. We'll find lots of other words, and some of them may not be familiar with you or familiar to you as normal abbreviations. But there are lots. But cops is not one of them. However, if we go to A and look under, we will find area somewhere. No. Where are you, area? I know you're here somewhere. That comes up in the listener sometimes. Where is area? Hang on. Am I just missing it? It is here. Maybe is it a capitalized abbreviation? Yeah, there we go. Area. So, this word area can be abbreviated to A. And A is being engulfed by. Now, in cryptic crossword land, the letter A is therefore being surrounded by threat cops dealt with. Now, this is an anagram of threat cops. And you may say, well, why is it an anagram? Well, this phrase dealt with, it means that if you deal with something, you sort of handle it, don't you? You organise it or you fix it. So if something is to be anagrammed, the constructor has to tell you to anagram it. But they don't literally have to say, anagram these letters. They'll use euphemistic terms to indicate it's an anagram. And here it's dealt with. So we deal with the letters threat cops around the outside of one of these A's. And that can create the word catastrophe, and that is a good start for us because we're going to get lots of checking letters, and we should use them. So no, we really should. This is a hard puzzle. I'm not going to try and do it without using the checking letters. So one down, 3 letters. Basis for lying. I have an idea about this one just from that phrase. Basis for lying. Remember that although I said, and it was true, that every single one of these clues has a straight definition of the answer, that definition might not be the same sort of definition you get in a quick crossword. Cryptic crosswords can take licenses. So basis for lying, to head off complaints being raised. Yeah, no, that's fine. It is what I thought it was. So again, here, where are we cutting the clue? We're cutting it after the word lying. This is a 3-letter word which means basis for lying. And then the wordplay is to head off complaints being raised. Now, the way I got this was I thought basis for lying. Is that something a base that you might lie on? Now, a base you might lie on to go to sleep might be a cot. And it is cot. It's not that easy to see why, but the way this works, the recipe works, is to is literally the word to, T-O, head off complaints, that is the head letter off the word complaints, that's C. So we've got T-O-C, and that's all being raised. This is a down clue, so if we raise something, we reverse it, and that gives C-O-T, cot, which is the answer. So again, I mean, I don't know how easy or hard that is, but that is how it works. So let's try 2 down, 5 letters. Upset by books, concerned with material, unsuitable for consumption. Right. I'm trying to think about what I can tell you about this one, because I don't know what this is. Upset by books. I mean, one of the recommendations I always make with these puzzles and the clues is to try and force yourself to decide what you think the definition is. So where are we going to cut this clue between the recipe part of it and the definition? Now, the clever thing about this clue here is, and I think this will probably only be the case for 1 in 10 clues that I read here, I don't know. I don't know what side of the clue the definition is. I really don't know. It might be upset by. Books concerned with material, unsuitable for consumption. Or it might be unsuitable for consumption. If something's unsuitable for consumption, it's sort of inedible, it's tacky? No. Maybe we could get this letter here. Let's have a look at 9 across. 3-6 tap dancer? Probably not. That was a total guess. Invite hosts to cancel social media platform relieved of duties. Okay. I don't know what this is, but I've got a good idea where we're going to cut this clue. Now, one way to recognise which part of clues are the recipe is to imagine how you would write a recipe to make something in the kitchen. You know, you would be providing instructions, wouldn't you? And sometimes when you read these clues, you can see words that seem to be instructions. But Jason's very skilled, so he makes it hard to spot. But invite hosts to cancel social media. Sounds like you're inviting some hosts of a show to cancel a social media platform. But what about this word hosts? If you host somebody in your house, you put them up, don't you? You accommodate them. So I think it's more likely we have to think of a word that means invite, and that word is going to host within it a word that means to cancel. I'm not sure what the social media platform bit is yet, but if that's correct, then we know that the first bit of the clue is not the definition, it's the recipe. So the other end of the clue needs to be the definition, and we've got this phrase, relieved of duties. Now, if you relieve someone of their duties, you might fire them, I suppose. But a duty has a different meaning, doesn't it? If you if you think of a duty as in a tax, relieved of duties, might be, if something was relieved of duties, it would be tax exempt. And I think that's the answer. I haven't actually worked this out yet. I need to work this out. Oh, his social media platform might be X, as in the new name for Twitter. Right, yes, if you invite something, you tempt it. And that's hosting. If you cancel a show on television, you axe it. And then the social media platform is X. So this is really interesting. 2 X's in one word. I'm immediately thinking, has Jason tried to achieve a double pangram here? I.e., a crossword where the answers feature all the 26 letters of the alphabet twice. Incredibly, incredibly hard to do. But when you see a word that's got 2 X's in it, that's where your brain should be going. Now, let's look at this one, which has now got an X in it. Taxed. No, I don't think it is. Oh, toxic, unsuitable for consumption. It's going to be toxic. I don't know why. Upset. Or toxin. Oh, toxin? Oh, I'm not sure. It's toxin. A toxin is certainly a material that's unsuitable for consumption. But if it was just unsuitable for consumption, it would be toxic, wouldn't it? Now, okay, the only part of this clue that I think I have got a handle on, and I might be proved wrong, is this word books. Now, we need to talk about this. If you're new to these videos, or if you're new to cryptic crossword solving, you might not know that books, if you see book, it can be the letter B. If we go to B in the dictionary, we'll find, I think it's just book, but it might be the plural. I can't actually remember. Book. There we go. So book can be B. But if you see books, it's almost always a reference to the Bible and a collection of books in the Bible. Now, the Bible is split into the Old Testament and the New Testament. So books, whenever you see it, it's almost always OT, which is the Old Testament, or NT, which is the New Testament. I mean, it's crazy, isn't it? As I was doing this, I'm thinking, how could anybody new to cryptic crosswords ever learn this? It would be so weird. But once you've seen it a couple of times, it'll just always be there for you. So I think books here, given that we're looking for either toxic or toxin, I think it's going to be TO. So upset by, concerned with. I don't know. I'm still with material. Nix is a word that means to sort of nullify. Upset by books. Oh, right. No, I have got this now. This is hard. Okay, I forgive myself a little bit for not spotting how this works, but I have now got it. Okay. If you were to do a multiplication, let's say you were doing 3 times 4, you might say to someone, what's 3 times 4? Or you might say, what's 3 by 4? By there does the duty of the times, doesn't it? And how do we indicate a times in mathematics? With an X. So upset by books is saying the by is X, the books are OT, so we've got XOT, and we're upsetting that to give TOX. Now, concerned with, is that going to be in then? Something's concerned with something, is it in it? Concerned with. I think it must be. I think concerned with. I think I would put toxin here. I don't see how IC can mean concerned with. I'm certainly going to be looking at 11 across and checking this is an N. But I think if we looked up in, it might say concerned with. It's still quite difficult. I mean, it's the sort of clue that you would rush past if you were in a hurry, especially if you have the T and the X. But actually breaking it down and understanding it takes quite a bit of effort. Let's try 3 down. 3, 4. Spent time with relations. Oh, sorry, time spent with relations. Time. I mean, I know what the first word is. Okay, I don't know what this is, which is embarrassing. But relations is a euphemism. If you have relations with somebody, it's a euphemism for sex. So this first word must be sex. Then time spent with... I don't know. Why don't I know that? Time spent. Oh dear, that's so bad. Okay, you can all laugh at me. 4 down, 9 letters, moving swiftly on. Look back on timid people adopting new lives or lives. Be careful with puzzles, because, you know, words like lives, obviously you can read that as lives. And if something lives, it is, isn't it? So this lives word might be the word is what I'm thinking. Look back. Reminisce must be the answer. Mice or something's going on there, isn't it? Reminisce. So how does it work? Timid... on. If you saw a memo at work and it had the word re and then a subject, you know, re-office cuts or something, you would know that meant that the memo was on the subject of office cuts. So re and on are synonymous. Then timid people are going to be mice. Adopting, and the mice, M-I-C-E, are adopting N, which is a valid abbreviation for new, and is, if something lives, it is. So reminisce is the answer. And we were hugely assisted with this one by having the R and the M at the start. Now let's try 5 down. 3, 2. Don backing away from university. If you don clothes, you put them on, don't you? You put on? So is it put on? I don't know. Yeah. It's lovely. It's very well phrased. So if you're, let's say you're a student, but you're not at the university at the moment, you would be not up. To go up is to go up to university. If you're sent down, you're dismissed from university. So not up is away from university, and that's backed, it's reversed, to give put on, and if you put on clothes, you don them. So very nice. Let's try 6 down, beginning with E, 7 letters. Record conclusion of economist in key message. Okay, now I can do this one. The way to do this one is to look at the word record. Now, record in Cryptic Crossword land, I mean, there are lots of short synonyms for records. Discs, for example, CD, although C and D, obviously, they're not natural bedfellows in a word. But the two that do come up a lot are EP and LP. They're 2 anachronisms again, aren't they? Because they're, you know, the days of vinyl. Well, I know vinyl sometimes makes or some people think vinyl is still very much a form, but it's not really. Most people don't buy vinyl. But EP, extended play records, LP, long play records, that's still absolutely de rigueur in Cryptic Crossword land. So the record here might be an EP, I think. Conclusion of economist. Well, what does that mean? Again, we're taking the concluding letter of the word economist, T. In key. So we're putting a T inside a 4-letter word for a key. Now, if you're thinking, oh, could that be a computer key? And you're looking at your keyboard and you're thinking tab, escape, ESC, that's great. That's great things to think. because that it could have been that. In this instance, it isn't, because key is a word for a small island as well, for the Florida Keys. Now, so we're looking for the word isle here, and if we put T in the middle of isle, we get an epistle, and an epistle is a message as well as a sort of letter, I think. Let's look that up. I'm definitely not changing it, so I'm happy to look it up. Something written, a letter. Yeah, it's interesting. A letter. Yeah, it doesn't. It's more of a letter than I suppose a message might be a letter. But anyway, I'm very confident that's the answer. Now look, we're going to have to try, I think, for 11 across. This is a very important answer. 7 letters. Writer's article, not free of charge or regular payment. Pension? A regular payment is a pension. Writer's article. Yeah, that's lovely. That's lovely. Right. It is pension. And this is a glorious way of cluing the word ion. Now, an ion in physics is a charged particle. Let's look it up. It comes up in crosswords so often, of course, because ion is a lovely way to end a word. An ion, here we go, an electrically charged particle formed by loss or gain of electrons by an atom. Now, look at how Jason has defined this here. Ion is defined as article not free of charge. So, of course, when we're thinking about this, we're thinking of an article in a shop which, we can't get for free. But no. This is literally the definition of the particle, the ion, which is an article. It's a thing which is not free of charge. It is a charged particle. And how does the first bit work? Well, our writers here, writer apostrophe S. A writer is a pen, isn't it? That's something you would use to write with. So pen apostrophe S. This S here is the apostrophe S in the clue. And a pension is a regular payment. Now that seems to confirm toxin, so I'm not going to change toxin. There couldn't be a word toxon, could there? Concerned with. I mean, imagine if there was a word toxon, and it had the same meaning as toxin. I've never heard of it. I don't think there is. So I would look up in, and I'm hoping that we see concerned with here. If we don't, then I'm an ignoramus. What does it meant to mean? Concerned with. Concerned or involved with. So toxin is going to be right. And we'll just double check that there isn't a word toxon. No, there isn't, which is good. So toxin's going to be right. The sex thing here. Time spent with relations. Is it sex life? Is that what it is? What sex life is, I suppose, literally the time that you spend on your sexual relations. That's a brilliant clue. It's not one I've seen in the Times before. Let's try 11 down, which is 11 letters, and it begins with P. Reconstruction. Oh, we should immediately, if we see the word reconstruction, what should we be thinking? Hopefully you're all thinking, oh, this could be an anagram. Reconstruction of state, involved speaker, suppressing anarchic riot. Okay. I'm now wondering if this is more likely to be perestroika or something. And I hope it isn't, because I haven't got a clue how to spell that. I bet it is. It is that. It's that Russian word, isn't it? Perestroika, that was sort of popular in the time of Gorbachev. And that's definitely got an anagram of riot somewhere in it. Yeah, so I think what this is is an anagram of speaker, i.e. if something is involved, it's complicated, isn't it? So if we involve the letters of the word speaker, we're going to make them complicated, we're going to anagram them, and that's going to suppress, it's going to surround an anarchic, the state of anarchy, so a chaotic word riot. So we're going to anagram riot. So it's an anagram of speaker and riot, or an anagram of speaker with an anagram of riot in it. And troika is going to be how it ends. So it's going to end like that. So and it probably has E as the second letter. And S probably there. Perestroika? Have I got too many A's in that? No, I need another E. Perestroika. Perestroika. I mean, it sounds right. Okay, that's got two E's. Yeah, I mean, I'm it's probably right. And it must mean reconstruction of the state in Russian. What we'll do is we'll look it up at the end, because I would certainly now want to check these crossing letters by looking at the entries like this one. So 13 across is 5 letters. Rob, once close to those in party. I haven't quite got this yet. Rob once. Is this... Well, I'm not sure. This could be the word reave. R-E-A-V-E? I don't know, when I read the clue, I thought it might be Rob Roy, a reference to Rob Roy, because Rob once suggests to me, oh, it's the name of a historical person called Rob. And then my mind went to Roy for some reason. I don't know why. But this phrase, close to those, I read as close to those, i.e. the closing letter of the word those. Well, that's E. So I actually quite like reeve there as the answer. It's not a word I know. I know that R-E-E-V-E, reeve, is a magistrate, is an old word for a magistrate. I think the Canterbury Tales had a reeve's tale. But R-E-A-V-E, it could be an old word for to rob, couldn't it? And then we've got rave for a party with E in the middle of it. I think I would go for that and hope to confirm the A with the checking letter. How many times have I said that in this puzzle already? Not easy. Let's try 17 across, which is 9 letters. Told to go to collect advanced study for confirmation. Told to go. Sent, maybe? To collect advanced study for confirmation. A confirmation is a statement or a advanced study. Advanced is a word, I think we had this last week, which can be abbreviated to A. And that you'll have seen that if you think about an A level. What does the A of A level stand for? It stands for advanced. So I quite like told to go being sent. That feels right, doesn't it? Now if that's got A for advanced in it, and then what's it going to be? A 4-letter word for study. Read would be the most obvious, but that doesn't work. Seredent is not a word. Sacrament. Cram. That's lovely. Wow. Confirmation. is a religious ceremony. So it's not just a confirmation. Oh, can you give me confirmation that you've done this, for example? Confirmation is a religious ceremony that you typically go through, I think, when you become an adult and you decide, yes, I do really want to be a Christian or something. So, and that's a sacrament is a religious ceremony. And to cram, if you cram for an exam, what do? You study for it. So told to go to collect advanced study for confirmation. Lovely. So it's sent around a cram. Now let's go for 14 down. 9 letters beginning with A. Who tried to transform contents of project cherished by top people? Okay, I don't know what this is, but I have got an idea about the end of it. Cherished by top people. Now, I think what Jason might have done here, the top people might be, if you're in the world of show business, the top people in show business are the A-listers, aren't they? So could this be A-list around something? So who tried to transform? What was it when you tried to transform lead into gold? Alchemists. Oh, it must be alchemist. I don't know why. Contents of project. Scheme. Ah, it's beautiful. Right. And it reminds me of Dire Straits. Can a clue ever get better? So 14 down. So the way it works is cherished by top people is a list. We have the contents of a project. A project is a scheme. So the contents of the word scheme are C-H-E and M, aren't they? So that chem bit goes in the A list to create the word alchemist, which is defined here as who tried to transform. And in the olden days, an alchemist would try and transform lead into gold. And why does this remind me of Dire Straits? Well, I know you all know the answer to that. One of the greatest albums of all time, certainly in the top 3, in my opinion, is the live album Alchemy, in which Mark Knopfler plays some of the greatest guitar I have ever heard, ever. And I remember when I first heard that album, just being absolutely blown away by it. And I am still blown away by it today when I listen to it. Telegraph Road. It's on that is incredible. Anyway, I digress as usual. Let's move swiftly on. Let's have a look at where should we look now? We've actually got quite a lot of starting letters. Should we go for 16 down? 7? 18 down, in fact. 7 letters. Keen promoter, possibly. Bitter about appointment. About appointment. I don't know what this is. I know what I wanted it to be. I was thinking of a short synonym for bitter. I thought that was going to be ale, as in bitter ale. And then I was trying to think of a short synonym for an appointment, and I thought that might be a date. And ale and date have 7 letters, so in my brain I tried to put ale around date, and I couldn't come up with a word. But it did give me the idea that perhaps the definition here is keen promoter, possibly. Now, what's that meaning? If you keen, you sort of wail, don't you? You cry. So is this something that makes you cry, like an onion? Or, if you... I don't know. Bitter could be like acrid, acidic. Appointment. I don't know. I'm not sure. I think this is an example of a clue I should be able to get very easily, and my brain is being recalcitrant. So let's have a look at 20 across. 4-3. Recite fluently, reel off, with feel for performing, yeah. Look at those letters there, feel for. And those letters are going to perform for us. They're going to anagram themselves. They're going to jump around. And that allows us to... if I could even remember what I was trying to type, reel off. If you reel off something, you reel off a poem or something, that would be a recital that was fluent. Now let's have a look at this. Idiom, Irish, other things as well. Fool, idiot, probably. So 25 letters. Setter would jot down answer for fool. That's beautiful. Oh, God, what a great clue. Right, it's idiot. Now, I'm sure everybody can look at this clue and say, well, okay, the definition is fool then. You're right. And the duty of the word for in this clue is sort of an equal sign. But can you work out the rest of it? It's very, very lovely to do that. Because when you see what Jason's done to construct this grammatically, it's really beautiful. Setter would jot down answer. It's just beautiful. So the setter there is referring to himself. Setter, i.e. the setter of the crossword, is saying I'd, I''d. Setter would. So how does jot down answer give IOT? And this is so beautiful. If you have a jot of something, what do you have? You have a very little of it, don't you? You have an iota of it. And down answer, if the word iota was down the A, and A isn't a valid abbreviation for answer, as in Q&A, everyone would know what the A stood for there. So jot down answer is saying take the word iota and miss off the A. It's down the A from answer. And that gives iot, and we can create idiot or idiot, which is certainly it's the opposite of what that clue demonstrates Jason is. Now let's have a look at 27 across now. 3 letters. Bug delaying final stage of deployment is likely. Bug delaying final stage of deployment is likely. I presume this is ant, but I don't know why. And these are the ones you have to be very careful with because there are a lot of words that fit this pattern. Bug. If you bug somebody, what do? You I don't know. Bug delay. I mean, the final stage of deployment, I think, is going to be the final letter of the word deployment. That's T. So it feels like it might be a 3-letter word for a bug that has T as its first letter, A as its second letter, and something as its third letter. And then we delay the T in that word until the end. And the whole thing means likely, or is likely. Apt, tap. Oh, yes, okay. That's right. Goodness, that's really difficult. That might be where some errors are coming from. If you if you're a spy and you bugged an apartment, you would tap it, wouldn't you? Wiretapping. So bug, tap, delay the T, apt, and if something is apt, it's likely, it's apt to happen, it's likely to happen. That's really difficult. Really difficult. Very nice clue again. Right, let's try 18 down again. It hasn't got date in it, has it? It could... Oh, apostle? Oh, okay, so it wasn't somebody crying. An appointment is not a date, it's a post. And that's got ale around it, and an apostle is somebody who's a keen promoter of something, obviously. So that's that one done. Let's try 21 down, beginning with F, 5 letters. Stood up to knock back drink. I keep thinking of the word quaff. And then I'm quaff, oh quaff this kind nepenthe, and forget the lost Lenore. Quoth the raven, nevermore. No, that's nonsense. You can't reverse the word quaff here. There are no words that have that pattern. Stood up. Stood up to, faced, decaf, lovely. Okay, once we had the right idea, we could do it. Stood up to, faced. If you knock back a drink, you reverse a word for a drink, and a decaf is certainly a type of drink, although not one I am partial to myself. Now, what's this? I was going to say elderberry. That's not enough letters. Let's try. I mean, it's good. Endure? No. I don't know. What is this? Oh, endorsement, probably sanction. I don't know. Let's read it. 11 letters. It is normally better to read the clues before guessing the answers. Sanction record. Record again. Racing driver deserved. Okay, well, it must be an endorsement. That's certainly something you get when you speed or something, isn't it? On your license. You get an endorsement on your license. Unfortunately, very familiar with such things. Sanction record. Well, how does this work? If you okay. How does this work? Sanction. If you sanction something, you allow it, don't you? You endorse it. So sanction and endorse are probably synonymous. Record. Racing driver. Is this a cryptic definition? It might be. I mean, it seems to, when you read it, it seems to be referring to a racing driver, like a Formula One driver, who gets a sanction. Perhaps they entered the pit lane too early or something. And so it's a sanction that a record, the record-holding racing driver deserved this sanction for entering the pits too early. But if you read it in a different way, that question mark at the end makes me wonder whether it's a cryptic definition. In a cryptic definition clue, rather than split the clue into, a recipe and a definition, you have to read the whole clue and think about it very laterally. And I think that works, doesn't it? Because a racing driver, somebody who races on the roads, would deserve an endorsement on their record. And a sanction can not only be as if you sanction somebody, you tell them off, you give them the endorsement. So I think that this is a cryptic definition. And we were fortunate, again, the E and the D. It can give a very misleading impression about the difficulty of a puzzle. If, when we got catastrophe at 1 across, we've been very lucky since then. Because we've got a lot of starting letters, and if we hadn't have had them, I think this puzzle would have felt much harder. In fact, let's just check. So all of the checking letters have been proved correct. So we'll look at perestroika. There it is. So we have spelt it correct. Now let's look at reeve as well. To rob. An archaic word, which is why the clue it was a rob once. Where was it? Here, rob once. Because it's no longer a word for to rob, but it was once. What else could we check? I don't think there's been any others we need to look up. But let's try. So where should we go next? Should we go for 12 across? Well, yeah, let's go to... I can do this one. 7 letters, writer's block. Now again, we've just looked at one that was a cryptic definition. This is another one. The clue on the face of it seems to be referring to, if you get writer's block, you just can't work out. George R.R. Martin has writer's block. That's the definition. That should be the dictionary definition of getting writer's block. But that's not what's happening here. We've got that question mark at the end of the clue, and one of the meanings of question marks in cryptic crossword clues is that we need to read this clue and think about it laterally. And a block that might be of use to a writer would, I think, be a notepad. So I think that's going to be the answer there. It's sort of a block. You grab, the block of paper that forms the notepad. It might not be right, but I'm pretty sure that that's right. Let's have a look at 15 across, which is 9 letters. Resignation, relatively certain to include distress. Resignation. Okay, I don't know what this is, but we should certainly... It's very good practice, as I said earlier, to try and split the clue up. What do you think this clue is? Is it a 9-letter word for a resignation? Or a 9-letter word for distress? Make a decision. Hopefully, you're all agreeing with me. I think this is a 9-letter word that means resignation. And if that's correct, the reason I think that's correct is I can read the rest of the clue as a recipe. Relatively certain. I want to say something like sure-ish. If something's sure-ish, it's relatively certain, or sure, or I don't know, but some variant on that is going to include some word for distress. Now, resignation. If you show resignation, you show an acceptance of the drudgery of life. You show resignation. Severance? No. No, I don't know this one. That's annoying. Let's go for 10 across. 5 letters. Sudden attack by America on international court. This isn't... Well, it might be. There is a word, ictus, I-C-T-U-S. That might be a sudden attack. I'm not sure. But the reason my brain has gone to that is I can construct it as part of a recipe. America, when you see that in a cryptic crossword clue, it can be A, in fact. Let's check that, but it can be A. And American can be A as well. Yeah, America, American. But more often it's probably US, as in United States. Sometimes it can be USA, but more often it's just US. So America here I think might be US. That's on, next to, international. Well, it won't surprise you to hear that international can be I. There. Court. This is a harder one. Court can be CT. I don't actually know where that abbreviation, what the etymology is of that, but it can be. Court. Oh, in addresses. It tells us in addresses. So I think this is going to be ictus, which I know is a word. I wouldn't have been sure it was a sudden attack, but I would put this in and hope the checking letters confirmed it, and that gives me the opportunity to guess that 7 down might be octopussy, which I hope it is, but I'm sure it won't be. Top and tail without starting off. I don't know, it's not, is it? That would have been great. 9 letters. We can all debate the best Bond film, but the best Bond film is the new Casino Royale, obviously. Top and tail. without starting off at opposite ends. Without starting off at opposite ends. I don't know what that is, I'm afraid. We could go for 7 across, that might help me. 3 letters. Sum up child's parent having no boundaries. Okay, again, try and make a decision. What do you think the definition is? If you think it's sum up, I think it is. Oh, I have got it now. Okay, so my brain kept going to tot there, because if you sum up some numbers, you tot them up, and obviously a child is a synonym for a tot, but it's not that. What we need to think about is a word for a child's parent, and I like the way that this is phrased, because a child's parent is a daddy, isn't it? So this clue could have been phrased as sum up parent having no boundaries, but that's not, to me, that's not quite as good. A parent is a father, but a child's parent is more a daddy. So do you see the difference? I like that. So, but a daddy, the word daddy having no boundaries means remove its first and last letter, and that just gives add. And if we sum something up, we add it. So that's going to be correct. Is this antipathy or top and tail without starting off at opposite ends? Top. I don't know that. This is a funny word. Auto. I don't know. Sorry. 8 down. 11 letters. In fact. Okay, let's stop there. In fact. What do we think that might mean in a cryptic crossword clue? Now, a fact is a deed. So I'm thinking this might be in the word deed. I'm hesitant. I'm hesitant is normally something like something you'd say to indicate you were hesitant, or to adopt incidental requirement. Oh, I don't know. There's that weird word, isn't there? Desiderata or something. I'm never sure what that means. I don't even know how to spell it. It's something like no, it's not that, is it then? Or desideratum? Could that be a word? I don't know. Does that mean, is that the name of a fact, a desideratum? Oh no, a fact might be a datum, maybe. I'm hesitant to adopt incidental requirement. I don't know. This is an interesting one, because it's a word that is only on the very edges of my consciousness, but I'm not sure that there isn't a word that looks something like this. But then I would like to be able to justify at least a bit of it. What did I think that one ended in? Oh, relatively certain. Secure? No, I don't like that. Ugh. In fact, I'm hesitant to adopt incidental. Is something side? Oh, or Ah. Oh, goodness me. Right, okay. is the I'm hesitant, I'm now thinking. So in fact, have I just made up a word here? This could be nonsense. I'm not sure about this at all. In fact, I'm hesitant. Oh, okay. How about this then? How about this as a way of justifying this word? In fact, if a fact was a datum, D-A-T-U-M, I'm hesitant, E and this R, has adopted, has surrounded a word for incidental, side, and that would give desideratum. So is that a requirement then? A desideratum. Again, I like that. There's some part of me that says you've seen a word like this before. And I can justify it now. So I'm going to leave this and see if I can justify the checking entries again. Let's try 19. Okay, I can do that. I think this is just leave divided city. If you leave somewhere, you split, don't you? And a divided city would be the city of Split. What is this then? Antipodal? Antipodes? Antipodal? Antipodal? Maybe? And is that E or I? I think it's antipodal. Oh goodness, this is hard. Okay. I don't know if I've got the correct anagram for it. I think I have, but I can justify antipodal, I think. Top and let's read this. Top and tail without starting. If we stop there, I think what that could be saying is take the word top and the word and the word tail without that word's starting. So without the T of tail. That would give us top and ale. And those letters are off. So they are anagrammed. Now that would give us 9 letters, wouldn't it? And if antipodal, which I think it is an anagram of top and ale, feels right, then that would, and antipodal presumably means at opposite ends, as in the antipodes is presumably at the other end of the... I think I would go for that, so let's look that up. Antipodal. Especially... oh, it just means Australia and New Zealand being diametrically opposite to Great Britain or Europe on the surface of the globe. A point or place diametrically opposite to another. A pair of points so related. I think that felt like what we were trying to describe, didn't it? So it does look like, well, let's check the M here. 22 across, 7 letters. Acting head of IT plugs trendy expression. Is that idiom? Acting. Locum. Interim. Yeah, if you're the acting head of something, you're the interim head of it, aren't you? The head of IT is the letter I, that I very specifically, and that plugs, so it's inside a word for trendy. If you're trendy, you're the opposite of me, you're in, you're popular, you're fashionable, and an expression is a term, T-E-R-M. So that is, so I'm now going to look up this weird word, desideratum. It's there. I can see it. Yeah, see, this is where I thought I knew that word as well. Something desired or much wanted. Is that what I thought it was meant to mean? A requirement. I mean, it's really, I suppose something you much want is a requirement, but that's not easy. Is this suspender then? No. Resignation. Relatively certain to include distress. Relatively certain. Resignation. Surrender. It must be surrender. I don't quite know why yet. Relatively certain must be surer. Something surer to, it's surer to happen. Surer. It's more certain to happen. And then that includes, if you distress something, you rend. Yeah, something's heart-rending. It's distressing, isn't it? So surrender feels right. It's definitely not an easy puzzle, this one. It's brilliant. It's brilliant. And some of the wordplay has been lovely. But if you're a newbie to Times Crosswords, I think I can totally understand this being difficult. It's got some quite difficult vocabulary. And unscrambling the clues is, you know, it's lovely to do because they're so well done. But it's not easy. Let's look at 16 down. Oh, retriever, dog. Dog soldiers snubbed orderly continually. It must be a retriever. I don't know why yet, so we're going to have to work that out. Let's talk about the word soldiers. Again, I did think we talked about this last week, but it's very difficult to get your head around just how many two-letter abbreviations there are for soldiers in Cryptic Crossword land. RE, the Royal Engineers. RA, the Royal Artillery. OR, other ranks. And I'm going to have missed out a load there as well. There are lots. But soldiers here might be RE. Snubbed, orderly, continually. Continually is, oh, goodness me, wow. This is very hard. Brilliant. Again, if something is snubbed, if you described something as snub-nosed, what would you mean? You would mean it was the nose was sort of, you know, its point was cut off, wouldn't you? So I think snubbed here is being used to say, think of a four-letter word that means orderly, and I think that's the word trim, and then snub it, cut its last letter off, and that's going to give TRI. And then continually, if something happens continually, it happens ever. Now that relies on snub being able to indicate, yeah, it was very clear, to cut short. Very clever. Set free for 19 down? Oh, it must be. 3-4. Fixed. Yes. A fixed charge is a set fee. And that has secured R. And R is a valid abbreviation for Queen. And you may say, why? That's ridiculous. It doesn't begin with Q. No, you're right. But in Latin, Queen is Regina. So Queen can be R. And so can King. Because King in Latin is Rex. So, I mean, it's hard. It is hard. But set free, obviously, if you release something, you set it free. So let's go for, let's check, well, I'm not changing ictus, but I'm going to just check it is a sudden attack. Yeah, I thought it was something to do with like poetical stresses. Oh, a sudden attack. Yeah, especially an epileptic fit. I've heard of like a rictus grin. Is that the same etymology? An unnatural gaping of the mouth in horror. Not really. Anyway, okay, let's carry on. Let's go for 23 down. 5 letters. River horse released from trap. Lovely. Yeah, that's lovely. Okay. These come up a lot in cryptic crosswords, and you have to be on the lookout for them. And they're called homophones, words that sound like other words but are spelt differently and have different meaning. Now, so what we're looking for here is the name of a river. And you may have a couple in mind, but we've got to work out which one. Is this the Rhine, or is it the Rhone? It's one of them. How are we going to work out which? We could, of course, solve 25 across, but we're not going to do that. We're going to look at the clue. So the recipe here is horse released from trap. And released from trap here is not referring to a sort of finding a horse in a trap and getting it out. If you release something from your trap is your mouth, euphemistically, isn't it? So releasing from trap is being used as a word or a phrase here to mean speaking. So we are looking for a word for a horse, or it sounds like it's a word for a horse when we say it. And Rhone, R-O-A-N, is the name of a horse, and it sounds exactly the same as Rhone, as in the river. So the horse is the Rhone, the R-O-A-N. When we say it, when we release it from our trap, it sounds the same as the river Rhone, which is what it's being defined by the answer. Now we'll go for, no, we should do this one first, shouldn't we? Let's try this one. 9 letters, 25 across. Yawning doctor uncovers insomnia finally. Yes, that's fine. This is a great use of, or it's a great example of changing the apparent type of word that we're looking at. So as we read the clue, the yawning doctor who's uncovering the insomnia finally, it conjures an image of a doctor in a surgery, bored with, working out whatever this patient's got. But actually doctor here is being used as a verb. So it's not referring to a doctor. If you doctor something, you change it, don't you? So doctor is being used as an anagram indicator. We're going to doctor the letters of uncovers and the final letter of the word insomnia, the A. Insomnia, finally. And that gives us 9 letters of anagram fodder. If we anagram those, we can create the word cavernous. And if something is yawning, it is cavernous. Beautiful clue. Right, a drunk is a sot, so I'm going to write that in and then try and justify it. So 3 letters. Drunk husband left out of photograph. Well, a photograph is a shot. We're going to leave H out because H is a valid abbreviation for husband, and that creates sot, which is this funny crossword word there we go. Somebody stupefied by alcohol, a habitual drunkard, a fool. And there, I think, do we have any? I don't think we had anything we were too worried about, did we? Apart from those, let's see. Yeah, we're good. We're good. We've solved it. Beautiful puzzle, Jason. Beautiful puzzle. Jason's one of those constructors. You know when somebody says, "Oh, I'm never on the same wavelength as that constructor." I often feel that with Jason. His clues, they have. He writes them in such a way that I can never quite get to them. But today's, although it was difficult, I felt I was more on your wavelength today, Jason, than I sometimes am. Beautiful puzzle. Let's have a quick go, hopefully, at the quick cryptic and see if we can do a speedy solve. It's by Kybos. Error by staff installing a route to service station. Own goal or something. I don't know. Don't know what that is. Block source of problematic moisture. Dam and P. Taking tops off and immersing ourselves. Loving, invigorating dip. Oh, goodness, I don't know. Spoon has declared river is a body of water. Dead Sea? Dead Sea. I want that to be Dead Sea. It might not be. Perhaps Eeyore's back half is crucial. What is going on here? Is this... Oh, donkey. Key. Goodness. Getting gradually louder, Crocs need. That's a crescendo, I think. Board overcome by problem. Bar nights. No idea. Origins of trees and ends of trees. Arboreal, don't know. Fussy process transformed. Rigmarole? No. Oh, it probably is actually. Rigmarole. Appearance of couple with no power. Air. Pair without the P. Show hoax. Proof of qualification. Don't know. Renovate and or decorate. Adorn. Anagram. Pressure amateur to perform. Don't know. Pub with 0 VAT first in Essex to modernise. Oh my goodness, that's to modernise over something. I don't know, goodness. King left, bathed in remaining glittering light. Sparkle? Yeah, that's right. Pale like a little Welsh steam train. What? What? Ivory. That's brilliant. That's brilliant. Oh my goodness. What's this one then? Error. Slip. Oh, slip road. Okay. Tops of. Oh, is this that funny dip? Is it something like that? A-I-O-L-I. Yes, it is. Okay, control, rain, reincarnate. Reincarnate looks right. Supplement, guided and confused, addled. Agrees, rises, ascents. Yeah. Large set of keys regularly split a new ring. What? I don't know. Oh, that is going to be Dead Sea then. Oh, piano. Large set of keys. Go each April travelling. Archipelago. Botanists exploring Greece initially. Uncovered Ionian flowering begonia, probably. Sergeant lacking some energy, spilled rum. Strange? Feels right. Soothe, soften. Head north, speed regulator, run over again, recap, I think. Mother gets to the bottom of a right old smell. Aroma? Right, okay, board. I'm going to go for embark. Origins of trees and ends of trees. Origins. Origins. Births, firsts, furs. It must be that somehow. I don't know why. Show hoax, proof of qualification. Briefly. Context. Show is a concert. Oh, it's a certificate. Yeah. Pressure amateur to perform. Play. Modernise, innovate. Maybe. The 0 VAT is in that somehow. That was not easy. I might be wrong. I guessed some of them. 8th. Okay, I'm not unhappy with that one. God, look at some of these times. Liam Hughes, 2 minutes 8 seconds on that. That's not that was not straightforward. John McCabe, 2 minutes 33. Mark's 3 minutes. I mean, Mark's time there is phenomenal. But Liam's time, you've taken a minute out of Mark. I mean, that's like Usain Bolt running the 100 metres in 9.59 or whatever it was, and then someone coming along and running it in 6. It's just unbelievable. Wow. But that's real. Liam is not a typist. That is a genuine time, which makes it even more incredible. Dean, I really rate Dean as a solver, and he was 4 minutes. Wow. Okay, well there we go. Great puzzle from Kybos. Quick cryptic, and not so quick, at least not for me. Anyway, there you go. If you enjoy this video, please like, please do subscribe. The algorithm doesn't like the crossword videos. We love making these videos, and wouldn't it be lovely to get them seen a bit more widely? And anything you can do to help us with that, we'd really appreciate. And we'll be back later with another edition of Cracking the Cryptic.